Hey, good morning, everyone. What is up? I got some news to talk about today. We're going to talk about Elon, as well as the PPI data that came out, the first inflation print this week. We have CPI that comes out, the second inflation print, which is expected tomorrow pre-market, right? I forgot a little about there, but we've got those two inflation prints here. The first one, the PPI that came out pre-market today, came out better than expected. However, higher than the prior month. So we did have the expectation that the year-over-year and the month-over-month data would be a bit higher, but it was lower than what they were expecting. So in a sense, somewhat bullish from that result. So the US PPI, the year-over-year, the previous was 3%, the forecast was 3.5%. And the actual that came out was 3.3%. The US PPI, the month-over-month, was 0.4%, and it came out at 0.2%. The US core PPI, the year-over-year, was expected at 3.8%, but it came out at 3.5%. The prior was 3.5%. So the two year-over-year figures from the prior reading were 3, and the core was 3.4, and it came out 3.3 and 3.5 respectively. So you had an increase in those from the prior, but lower than expected, so boom, all of a sudden bullish. The US core PPI, the month-over-month, came out at 0%, was expected at 0.3, while the prior was 0.2. The effective funds rate still remains at 4.33%. I don't know, let me see here what the 10 years did off of that news. The US 10 years popped a little going into this, and equity markets also popped a little going into this. So tomorrow we have the CPI, another inflation figure that's expected, so we'll see how that kind of shapes up. That's going to be another piece of information, as yesterday's rally somewhat continues on the overnight. They're still holding some of this upside, but we'll see how that progresses throughout the day. We'll do a little analysis on the S&P towards the end of it, but first and foremost, let's talk about Elon and TikTok, right? The owners behind TikTok and other Chinese officials are debating what to do in the event of the U.S. Supreme Court upholds a law that would force a sale or ban of TikTok in the U.S. So things are looking like they might be ruled that way as signaled by the justices during opening arguments last week. Whatever happens will be complicated for BitDance, and contingency plans appear to be in the making ahead of Jan14, the deadline. Who would buy it is the big question. New report from Bloomberg suggests that Chinese officials are evaluating a potential option that would involve Elon Musk's X taking control of the U.S. operations of TikTok. That would help boost advertising efforts of the platforms, as well as potentially harnessing large amounts of TikTok data to boost Musk's official artificial intelligence company XAI. One of the keys to any deal might be buying the short form video app without the algorithm, especially amid pressure from other contenders like Microsoft, Oracle, or a joint bid led by billionaire Frank McCourt and Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary via Project Liberty. So in my opinion, TikTok should not be banned in the U.S., even though such a ban may benefit the X platform, Elon Musk wrote on X in April. Doing so would be contrary to the freedom of speech and expression, and it's not what America stands for. To note, a TikTok spokesperson told the BBC that the Bloomberg report was pure fiction. So that's a question that continues to be asked as technology and the technology revolution evolves from the dot-com era to social media and generative AI. TikTok is the latest to be targeted in the debate, and the effects will be seismic through the popularity and 170 million users in the U.S. on the app. The app is owned by Chinese parent BitDance, prompting serious concerns that it can be used for espionage or algorithm propaganda manipulation, and through others call the worries overblown, even though linking them to a new Red Scare. So we'll see how that transpires. It's been years and years. The last time Trump was president, this was a huge topic of conversation, and that continues to progress without really too much. It seems like every year there was the fear, or I guess ultimatum of banning TikTok or selling it to someone. I think Oracle was fairly close one year. I don't fully remember the details, but PPI, right, came out. We got Fed speakers today, Fed Schmidt and Williams. Schmidt is at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and then at 3 p.m. it's Fed's Williams. We're up in equities right now pre-market due to, well, not due to, but like PPI did help a little. But yesterday we had a strong bid into pretty much the majority of the day with a very, very poor low. It seems that it is still very difficult for prices to engage in the upside pretty drastically, realistically. But there is some sell pressure that continues to persist. In my opinion, the S&P 5920 to mid 20s here suggests that there is some downside potential for the continuation outside of this larger auction area, but we are above the 5880, 5875, which is a distribution. So we've escaped out of the distribution to the downside, which puts a bit of upside pressure in the market currently. Overall, bigger picture, downside is still holding out its strength. So I'd be very cautious. I want to see what happens at 7580 on the SPOOs to the downside, but I'm a little skeptical of this bid that we're seeing. Currently, things are shaping up to try to bid today, but we're going to have to see how that transpires from that 5880 area and a bit below, as we've held it off the PPI news pump. And Nasdaq's very similar. I think above 21,000 is a start for the buy side. As long as 900 area holds on Nasdaq, we can be in shape for some of that buy side. But again, I'm going into this skeptically bullish. So that's basically what I got. Where am I located? Well, wouldn't you like to know? I'm in Europe. So hope everyone has a fantastic day. Check out community.tradeproacademy.com if you want to chat with us or want more information. And let's have a good trading day. See how this thing shapes up.